this video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to play chess. Now, as you can see, the board is set up already, so we're going to first go over where all the pieces go and what the pieces are called. So we're going to first do the second row. These are all of your pawns, and this is what they look like. Then in the row behind it, we're going to start in the corners. These are your two rooks. Next to those, here are your two knights. They look like horses. Next to those are your two bishops. And then your queen and your king. Now your queen will be on the same color as what the pieces are. So this is the white side, white pieces. It's going to be on the white square. Your king will be on the opposite color, which will be the black. And over here, it's the opposite. So the black queen will be on the black tile, and the black king will be on the white tile. Okay, now that I showed you all the pieces, I'm going to show you how to move all of the pieces. So we're first, again, going to start with the pawns. The pawns, you move forward only once, but since this is the first time that you're moving the pawn, you can move it 2 times. It's optional, you don't have to, but it's only the first time you move it. Now, you can only do it once. Now for a pawn to capture another piece, you would have to go and take it diagonally. So if someone moves their pawn up once, again optional, you don't have to move it twice. This pawn can take this pawn. And then after that, this pawn can also take this pawn. Moving diagonally only, that's how they capture the other team's pieces. For anyone that's wondering, the pawn can take any other piece too, not just pawns. So now, we're going to talk about the rook. Now the rook only goes straight. It goes straight here, straight here, straight here, straight wherever. Just always straight. No diagonal, no hopping over anything. So we're going to move it just right here. I'm also going to move it on the other side too, just so you can see what kind of a chess game would look like. Now we're on to the knight. Now the knight is a little complicated. Now the knight moves, I like to think of it like one diagonal and then one forward. So it can move here, or it can move here. Let's say after you move it here, you can move it here, 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 or here, or back there again. Just always think diagonal, one forward, diagonal, one forward, diagonal, one forward. That's the most complicated for me when I first started learning. Again, we're going to move this piece, diagonal, one forward. Okay, now the bishop. Bishop only moves diagonal. So this bishop can't really move right now, so I'm just going to move this pawn up one. So we're going to move it here, just diagonal, diagonal. You got one bishop that stays on one color and one bishop that stays on the other color for both sides. So this bishop's able to move here. Now the queen. I'm going to move him out of the way, pawn up 2, just to show you the queen. Queen can go straight or diagonal. Queen's the best piece in the game. So let's just go straight here. Move pawn over here so the queen can move diagonal. And there's a lot of options now that I've moved a lot of the pieces. And lastly, the king can only move one sideways, forward, or diagonal. So I can move here or here. So now we're going to talk about something called check. A check is basically when the king is in trouble. So I'm moving my bishop all the way over here. The king is in check, meaning the bishop's next move, it will take the king. So you gotta move the king out. Or just say if it was here, you gotta move another piece in front of it so the king doesn't get taken. Now the king can also take the piece if there's nothing guarding that piece. Let's just say if the queen was here, my king cannot take it, because if he does, he will be in danger again. The queen will take him and he will lose, or you will lose the game. But the queen was not there, so it looks like nothing can take it or put him in check again. So I'm going to take the bishop. So now we're going to talk about castling. Castling is when you move the king and the rook and you switch them. Now, there's a couple rules about castling. The first rule is that neither the king or the rook, they cannot move. They can't move at all. Meaning, like, if he moved once, then you can't castle anymore. The king can't also castle and put himself in check either. So we're going to go ahead and castle the rook and the king. Now another thing I want to talk about is the numbers and the letters you see a lot when people play chess. You see it a lot online when you play online. So the numbers are 1 through 8. Start here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then the letters going horizontally, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and H. Now, row 1 and 2 will have the white pieces. Now, another thing I want to talk about is the numbers and the letters you see a lot when people play chess. You see it a lot online when you play online, F, G, and H. Now, row 1 and 2 would have the white pieces, and row 7 and 8 would have the black pieces. And also, but I'm going to make it a little simple. I'm going to be moving A1 to A2. That's how you would mark it. Now we're going to do a little bit more complicated move. It would be B1, and knight to C3. A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. You always say the letter first before the number. Now those are most of the basics of what to know for a beginner on how to play chess. Kind of gonna just move some pieces around. Now, a piece of advice I would give you is never give up your queen. I was told by a lot of people just to never do that, and a lot of instructors, chess teachers. Just not a good idea. Something I forgot. If the pawn goes all the way to the other side, you can change that to a queen, a rook, a knight, or a bishop, whichever one you want. Beginners. But that is how to play chess for beginners. So thank you for watching.